never think, I never know. I never think, left alone. I never know. I've been lost, I've been fine. Black holes is not defined. Won't you kiss me? Won't you play? Won't you drown me? Ain't no way I could deny you. I could try. Will you kiss me? Ain't no way.
Hello, welcome. A few shout outs. Thank you to the followers, CXZR_1 and Tatsumi Bunny for following. Boom, beep, body, body, beep, badam, badam. I think I still have my volume higher than intended. Let's go. Okay, I think you guys can hear me okay. Let me test out on the correct thing. Oh, and this is the music ends. Too late. And this is the music ends. Too late. This is the music ends. Too late. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. How are we feeling? Feeling good? How are we feeling? Feeling good? Alright. Kinda echoing back now. Alright. It's because my own volume's low, that's why. 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 Alright. Alright. Pause that. There we go. Alright, sorry about having to work on the audio here, guys. It's genuinely difficult because if I there's certain things that if I adjust, it's too loud for me to even think, and it's not really background music, and then it's difficult for me to tell how things are going for you guys. So I appreciate your patience with the setup. Okay. So let's go ahead and put up the webpage. What happened here? There we go. It's just so this is Left Alone by Marixis, music provided by Audio Library Plus. Got the link going here, and of course the video is stuck frozen. Can't stream a video that I'm streaming in. That's kind of silly. Let's go ahead and start that back up. Okay. trying to figure out a way to set up the Will's drive trash is changing. Okay, let's fix that. So we were writing Citrus Ranma, and um, let's go over what we've done so far. We took two different animes, the anime Citrus and the anime Ranma one half, and we spotted some similarities and thought, hey, maybe we can uh, fuse this together into a new story that takes concepts from both and kind of interweaves them, because Ranma is a martial arts comedy with like romance not even really there. It's like it builds up over the entire series, but you're not there for the romance. And then you have Citrus, which is um, a lesbian romance with with somebody who's deeply troubled and who has major issues. I'm losing belly, and my microphone isn't staying on my belly right now. So we took the concept of Ranma turning female, and the concept of how Ranma joins the Tendo family and the Tendo household, and we altered it to be more in line with what happens in Citrus. And so we did all that, and we kind of brainstormed different ideas, and then we went ahead and we created the first episode. We got a prologue, a conflict, a rising action, a climax, a falling action, a denouement. And we went ahead and we took a lot of beats from Citrus in that we were like, okay, we're gonna do the Citrus story beats for this episode, because it's that storyline, that world existing, Ranma existing in that world, is suddenly very interesting. It creates an interesting dynamic for Ranma, and so let's explore that. And so the prologue is very much it's a fast and light version of a dark fix, starting kind of like thing. I didn't quite go full lichen trees on it, but it's a much darker start, and then we move on to Ranma arriving at school, and kind of following the beats from Citrus, where Citrus's prologue was about her going like, "Oh my God, yeah, me and my boyfriend had to break up because I'm moving, and oh yeah, I sleep around so much it'll be super easy." And then her going like, "Oh my God, I haven't slept with anybody. I have no romance. I've been lying to everybody, but maybe I can do well on my next school." And then fast forward to her going to a school that's an all-girl school, and suddenly, and with the very strict dress policy, and so all the things that she had before, where she had a school where she could dress the way she wanted, and it was co-ed. So even though she wasn't ending up with a boyfriend, she could have, and immediately kind of like getting molested by the school council president in the guise of taking her phone, and then being shunned by the entirety of the school, and except for one girl and things like that. And we take that and we replace the fact, that Gyaru style, that I want to call it like cheerleader punk is what I want to call it, style, and the implications of it being like you're super slutty, and you sleep around and all that, and replace it with Ranma's issues, which is, nobody else really fights like Ranma. In the normal school population, Ranma's kind of like a standout, and the people who stand along with Ranma are considered just as weird. So we're kind of looking at that aspect of the story, and so so we are taking the plot line of Citrus, which is at least for the first episode, which is the beats of going to a school, finding out dark past secrets, and having the just a lot of issues at the school, and then finally coming home and having those issues follow Ranma home, and then putting that out in such a way that it leaves Ranma just completely vulnerable, um, physically and emotionally, is our ultimate goal. And we end with a kind of like with a little bit of going back to what started it all. And so that's the episode outline, right? So we don't know anything, like we don't know where we're going to be, like if we get to episode 10, what we're going to be doing there right now. Though it would be good to look at how we're starting and then ask ourselves how we want to end and then write that. But for right now, we're just focusing on this episode. And we've already done all this writing here. This is the prologue section right here. So we go on and on and on and on and on, and until we hit where we left off, where we're writing the scene. And so now the scene has a goal, a challenge, a disaster, a reaction, a reflection, and a decision. That's 6 steps. If we look back over here, the episode or the chapter or the thing we're writing right now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. And we reflect these in the overall storyline. So the prologue and the denouement should share a point. The things in the falling action should rise up with the conflict. And one of the things I did there was Ranma is given a uniform to wear, and here Ranma is given pajamas to wear. Everybody is ignoring Ranma, whereas here everybody's paying attention to Ranma. Here Akane is showing interest in Ranma, and here Akane is Akane showing interest in Ranma. See, and then here is Akane Akane getting caught kissing Tofu, and then here's them talking about Akane kissing Tofu. And then finally, right in the middle, it's the big point of Ranma finding out that these 2 girls that he's getting quite involved with at school are actually his new sisters. And that's the storyline we're doing, right? So that's the reflex of it shows how this is reflective. But here, this is the curve, right? You introduce a conflict, you build up the stakes until you get to this, technically a climax here. Let's move this over. Let's get our Let's get our stuff in a row here. There we go. That's technically climax. And we have the climax, and then we kind of like quickly drop down with the resolutions and everything. Here, when we're writing the actual scene, we ask ourselves, what is it that the character wants? We need to make sure that the person that we know as readers what this person wants at this time. They are at this place doing this thing for this reason. And then we say, this is a problem that they're having while they're there. And then we get everything to go wrong with the challenge, so that and then we have them react to it. They move out of the way. They run up the stairs. They close the door. Whatever the hell it is, they react to it, and then they go, "Oh my God, what do I do? What am I gonna? How am I gonna get out of this?" And then they decide, and that decision that they make is their new goal for the next scene that we write. So with that in mind, we start writing sentences. Now, our sentences follow a very particular structure: feeling, reflex, natural thought, and speech. And this is hard to keep up, but and as you write, if sometimes you start writing the speech or the reflex, and you have to then go back and give a feeling. So Ranma nodded is a reflex. Well, it's the only way to get my new home address. I came straight from my old house to school today, right? But that's just reflex and natural thought and speech. I don't have a feeling there. Let's look up here. Akane's eyebrows knit together, and she bit her bottom lip. She sighed and said, "Well, you'll probably have to go see the principal to get it back, though you have to make sure to protect your head from his obsession with haircuts." And, can double up on the hair here. That's still not great, right? We're missing the feeling there. Let's look here. Ranma stood up straight, her face grinning widely. She moved up to Akane and said, "We should be friends then. I would give you my information, but it was in my pants pocket that the school council confiscated from me." So here is a feeling. She's feeling obviously happy or something. She's grinning widely. She's excited about something. She's standing up straight. Here, the feeling is that her eyebrows are knitting together and she's biting her bottom lip. That is the feeling that Akane is expressing. This is us showing through words what her face is doing, so that so we're saying, like, her eyebrows are knitting together, and yeah. Whoa. Now my stuff is working weird. Annoying. Hold on, can I do this? Okay, so that's working. It's just this one isn't. So strange. So strange indeed. Okay, well, excuse me while I hide my face real quick so that I can take a look at this and see what's going on. Give me a moment, guys. No, that should be doing it. Strange. It must be from the update. That's annoying. Okay. Alright. I will have to deal with this later. For now, let me... do this simple. Okay. Alright, there we go. A little bit simple. My face is going all over the place all the time, so just my regular existence is me like scowling. So it's like that's why I don't like doing this simple, because it's like, you are always in this position, and I'm like, no, I do other things. So hold on, I forgot you can't see me. So it's like, see, okay, look, if I have it auto kind of like detect, I just am constantly angry all the time, and it's like, it's a bit much. So it's like too extreme, it's too sensitive. So I need to split it up. Okay. Anyways, let me. There we go. No, this is too much. Too much. Too much. Too much. Too much. Way too much. This is. Where's the thing? There. Give me a moment. Yeah. 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 Nope. We'll stay calm for now. I hope you don't mind if I stay calm. That's what we're doing. There we go. But yeah, so we have the eyes knitting together, and oops, sorry. I have the eyes knitting together and biting her bottom lip as her feeling. We're expressing it in this way, and then she sighs. She sighs. Right. That's her reflex. Her reflex is just sigh. She has. Well, you'll probably have to go see the principal to get it back. Right. And here we have just Ranma not even talking. So what we need is a feeling real quick, right? So we're still in the goal of this scene, and the goal of this scene is Ranma wanting their stuff back. Alright. So felt her hair stand on end. Her I felt her hair stand on end. Her as if someone stepped on her grave in another world. Ranma nodded while Ranma shook off the spooky feeling and nodded. There we go. So now we're back on track with feeling, reflex, and natural thought. And we have a goal. We have set the challenge. We have explained that there's a challenge coming, and we have a goal. Let's read back up and kind of get into the scene, okay? Ranma looked at the classroom full of girls. They all had eyes on her. She was so nervous that she couldn't make out any of their faces. Dr. Tofu asked Ranma to introduce herself, and so Ranma did a backflip over Dr. Tofu's head and said, "I am Ranma Saotome of the Indiscriminate Grappling School of Martial Arts." The classroom was quiet when Ranma landed. She looked out to the class and almost stumbled when she saw the ponytailed girl sitting in the class. Ranma grimaced and thought, great, why did she have to be in my class? The day was long, but Ranma did learn that the girl was the student council president and that her name was Kodachi Kuno. Ranma kept an eye out and an ear out for her throughout the day, which is why she overheard her talking about going to see someone fight after school. Ranma could feel her blood rushing to her face. Her whole body shook with excitement. Someone knew martial arts. new martial artists at this school. She ran over to Kodachi and asked, "Are they any good? Can I come watch as well?" Kodachi got quiet and looked at the other girl she was talking to, and without looking at Ranma asked, I'm not I'm not sure how to say no to a delinquent without them getting angry. Ranma moved around the table, trying to catch Kodachi's eye. She would jump up when Kodachi looked up, and she would duck down when Kodachi looked away. Ranma wanted to know more. Come on, let me go with you. I'll do anything. Before Kodachi could respond, a hand grabbed Ranma by the collar and started dragging Ranma away. Ranma protested, but soon conceded to the brute force of the person pulling her. Ranma finally pulled away, slipping out of the grip and turning to walk next to the person who pulled her away. Ranma asked, So, what's the big idea? The girl had long black hair and a radiant smile that made Ranma feel a bit weak in the knees. She smiled and said, My name is Akane Tendo, and I just wanted to let you know that none of these girls will go for just any kind of martial arts. What do you mean? Akane looked out from the hall they were in to the school grounds below. She sighed and answered, Almost all the girls here have been going to this school since elementary school, and so the only martial arts they know are things like rhythmic gymnastics and flower arranging. These are, of course, shout-outs to Ranma, one half actual martial arts. Ranma looked out to the afternoon sun as it cast deep shadows over the statues in the courtyard. Um, Ranma looked out to the afternoon sun as it cast deep shadows in the statues in the courtyard. She sighed. So I have to approach them through that sort of angle? Akane nodded. She took a deep breath and said, Although I notice you practice an indiscriminate style. That's funny. My family style is the same way. Ranma stood up straight, her face grinning widely. She moved up to Akane and said, We should be friends then. I would give you my information, but it was in my pants pocket that the school council confiscated from me. Akane's eyebrows knit together, and she bit her bottom lip. She sighed and said, Well, you'll probably have to go see the principal to get it back, though you have to make sure to protect your hair from his obsession with haircuts. Ranma felt her hair stand on end as if someone stepped on her grave in another world. Ranma shook off the spooky feeling and nodded. Well, it's the only way to get my new home address. I came straight from my old house to school today. So now, the scene that we're doing is Akane shows interest in Ranma, but because she's not acting like the other girls, talks about how to get her clothes back, right? And we kind of did that, right? But the goal, challenge, disaster, reaction, reflection, decision, we haven't hit any of that. And the next scene that we are really focusing on after this, let me go all the way back up, is that Akane is going to be caught kissing Tofu by Ranma. So that means we have to extract Ranma from the situation long enough, right, for Ranma to then come back around and see that Akane is doing something that's not normal. Oof. Get a little drinky drink going. Alright. So, let's see here. Akane shows interest in Ranma because she's not acting like other girls. Talks about how to get her clothes back. Of course, Ranma's not acting like other girls. Ranma is actually secretly a boy. How interesting. Welcome to the secret mukbang. Trying to keep my energy up. Through the opulent pathways of the school and between the columns of romanticized architecture. Through the opulent pathways of the school, Akane led Ranma to the principal's office. She bowed out from helping Ranma on that she had to go and take care of something first. Ranma back about 10 feet away from the door. First, Ranma. How can we focus this a bit more? It's just gonna keep falling. Ranma. Let's see here. Connie found out from helping Ranma beyond that, saying that she had to go take care of something first. Ranma. Let's see here. Ranma's knees buckled slightly. Sudden chill rising through her spine. She stepped forward almost on autopilot. She opened the door to the principal's office. As soon as she did, a melodic voice from from within said, "Hello, little wahine. Let's cut your hair and make it more presentable, yeah?" Double check. I want to make sure that the wahine is correct. Alright, Polynesian woman, a young woman, especially a surfer. So, um, not while not accurate with the proper definition, it is the correct word that he borrows. Hello, little wahine. Let's cut your hair and make it more presentable, yeah? Um, uh, a click cut. No. Click. Click of sheer of scissors echoed from within the room, and Ranma turned and ran. A tanned Hawaiian shirted man chased Ranma. Let's see, a Hawaiian shirted man chased Ranma while shouting, "Come back! I do this for all the new wahines." Alright. So now we have a challenge, right? So we had the goal. We had the goal that we set up, that was already set up here. We had already had the goal going, and now we have the challenge. So let's do some interplay, right? So the thing with these is that the writing part, the planning part, only covers so much. The rest of it is whatchamacallit, matching, filling in the gaps of it. And there sometimes that gap is one sentence, sometimes that gap is whatchamacallit, paragraphs and pages, sometimes that gap can be an entire chapter, and if it is, then you're doing something wrong. But no, it's usually pretty fast. So, click clack, the click of a scissors echoed from within the room, and Ron returned and ran. A tanned Hawaiian shirted man chased Ranma while shouting, "Come back! I do this to all the new wahines." Ranma could feel scanned the hallways ahead, planning a route as she went. She ducked under one boy, which the principal's shares uh, scissors rent which the principal left bald and crying on the floor. See, Ranma scanned the hallways ahead, planning a route as she went. She ducked under one boy, which the principal left balding and crying on the floor. No boys. What am I doing? One girl, and it's not balding. My brain. Left bowl cut and crying on the floor. Okay, let me do a quick find for boys. My brain is very tired. Good. Okay. Find boy. Boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. Boy, 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 boy. Good. Boy, boy. Page boy. Come on, boy. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So tired. I've been having trouble sleeping that night, so. I already did a stream earlier today, so we're trying to double dip, as it were. No, I'm just trying to get this to kind of carry on with for recording purposes. Okay. She ducked under one girl, which the principal left bowl cut and crying on the floor. Ranma passed around a corner, leapt up the wall, and began climbing back over the wall, back while the principal ran past deeper into the school. Finally, Ranma thought as she ran back to the principal's office. She got inside and saw her clothes sitting on a table. So for feeling, just so you know, when feeling can include how the person feels, it can include what they see and what they experience. So it's kind of like a camera, the camera description. Saw her clothes sitting on the table. She reached for it. But suddenly, her instincts told her to duck, which she did. The principal flew over her head, his scissors snapping and tearing through her clothes her clothes on the table for landing against the wall upside down. Ooh. He moaned as he struggled to right himself. Ranma screamed. Ranma's favorite shirt floated in ribbons around her. Ranma screamed. She felt tears welling up in her eyes. Her mind thinking about the day her dad went to a store and bought her that uniform. They starved for 3 weeks to save up enough. Okay. Enough. It was the only honest gift he ever gave her, and now it was gone. Yeah, I started here. Okay. Now it was gone. Principal stood up and stared at Ranma as she stood resolute, her hands clenched at her sides. He moved up, while putting the scissors away. He gave her a bit of a side hug and said, "Do not cry now, little Wahini. I'm gonna bring you a solid day. No haircut required for you." Ranma nodded, trying to suck up her tears so that no one else could ever have the chance to see them. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Alright, Ramanada trying to suck up her tears so that no one else could ever have the chance to see them. She looked at the table and spotted a piece of paper. She picked it up, and it too ribboned apart. Completely useless. Ranma looked to the principal, and said, "And that was my address. I just moved. Don't even know where I live." Principal nodded and said, "Worry not. I shall get to your address." Let's see. The principal took the ribbon paper, from Mama's hand, and looked at it a bit. He nodded and said, "Worry not, I shall get you your address." Okay. There we go. So I have the reaction is that he beats up the principal. So let's get that out. Let's see. Ranma shook off the principal's hug and slammed her fist to his face. At the time, her second punch wound up. He had pulled out his scissors and used them to block Ranma's attacks. Okay, there we go. So we have the reflection a bit already. So let's take this. Use them to block Ranma's attacks. Ranma swept the hands, legs, and kicked the scissors out of his hands. She went back to the table. She felt tears. Okay. It's the full thought. So natural thought is her thinking here, and then she picked through the table and found her phone. At least it was a small victory. Could at least message her mom for the address. Ranma left principal's office. Alright. So, have this gone. And then here we have these done. Gonna bring the next scene down here. Oof. So, okay. Alright. Back up here. Almost done with the Rise in Action, episode 1. Connie is caught kissing Tofu by Ranma. So, let's see. Alright. Connie's caught kissing Tofu by Ranma. So, let's start planning our next scene that we're gonna write. How much did we manage to write today? I was going cross-eyed and tired. Oh no. There we go. And tools, word count. 513 words. Well, that's alright. It's about half of the usual. So our goal of Connie's caught kissing Tofu is Ranma left the decision. Left with the decision made here. To find Akane. So Ranma goes looking for Akane. The challenge is that Akane is with Dr. Tofu. The disaster is Akane kisses Tofu and Ranma reacts strongly, causing them to go their separate ways. Ranma does not want Connie to know she was caught kissing teacher. And that's the reflection. Reaction is Ranma runs away. Decision. Ranma decides to deal with it all later and goes home. Alright. So we're gonna have Ranma ending up catching, running off, deciding to go home, where we're gonna hit the climax of, she didn't confront Akane, and everything that happened to Biki, the fact that she lost something so dear to her, as an outfit that her dad actually bought for her, things like that, and there we go. So that is essentially my writing process. I keep doing this. It helps if I'm not tired. And I'll be honest with you, with the work that I do and the sleep that I get, it's really difficult. But that's it. If you are watching right now, do you have any questions about the writing process? Or do you want me to go over it again? Or do you wish to lurk some more? Lurker, lurker. Lurker, lurker. That's you. You're in here, lurking at me. Alright. So, it's not the full 2 hours. I'm kind of tired, but we reached our goal. Our goal was to write the scene. So, for everybody who's watching this on YouTube, please comment, like, subscribe here, and on Twitch, and support me on Patreon. I really appreciate everybody who supports me in any way they can, whether it's with a follow, with a subscription on YouTube, with a follow on Twitch, even if you do a $1 donation a month on Patreon. I love you for that, and thank you so much. I want everybody to take care, and I will see you later. Bye.